So why did you shy away from buying Adani Group of stocks earlier? They still had the airport, they still had the infrastructure projects in place, and they did not have any kind of concerns which a lot of analysts have raised about high valuations and high leverage. What stopped you from buying them in 2020, 21, or even 22?
Yeah, so I think if you look at the ports, for example, the regulatory changes have been much more recent, by the way. So I think the fundamentals of business today are better in the last 2 years than they were before at the margin. Number two is, look, we deploy a lot of capital. You can't simply start chasing because you can't execute in 2 days or something. When you talk about hundreds of millions of dollars, I mean, $500 million kind of stuff, we would move the price. So we do need some sort of a shakeout for us to enter. And these things had such a strong momentum. And the valuations were getting extended, so we couldn't have executed them in a sort of proper manner versus, let's say, in my opinion, a mini crisis like what we're seeing now.
What is your view on the debt market reaction to Adani Group of companies? There is a royal in the bond market as well. So do you think apart from equity market, the bond market also has overreacted?
In fact, it's interesting because if you look at the bond markets, they initially reacted, but I mean, they're down to sort of low teens to a high single, depending. I think transmission, I believe, is 9%-ish, and green is around 13-14%. And green, as you know, is one of the more leveraged ones. So I think they behave reasonably well. And I do believe that if the stock price reacts favorably, those will also come in. So globally, interest rates have gone up everywhere in the world. Right. So when you look at the spreads have not widened as much. I mean, they did for a brief moment, but they're sort of calmed down. Almost all the rating agencies have reaffirmed. So in fact, the bond markets are kind of telling you the same story that this is not a crisis situation from an underlying fundamental business perspective. Yes, the growth will be slightly slower than what you would have had without that, but I think that makes it more stable and hence, a lot more defensive.
So what to your mind could be the growth for Adani Group of companies? And when you're penciling in an investment, I'm sure you must have looked at a terminal rate, like you said, that investing is about buying gold at the price of silver.
Yeah, so I think if you look at depending company by company, green probably has the sort of faster growth rate here, but it's also the most leveraged and so on and so forth. But I think on an average, I would say mid-teen is very, very doable, if not a little bit higher. And if you think about across India, there are not too many businesses which can deliver at sensible valuations, because if they slow down sort of growth capex, the free cash flow will come in pretty quickly. So I think you're looking at mid-teen plus kind of growth rates.
A lot of global investors, and you just refer to that, ESG concerns. Do you think this investment of yours, in a sense, gets that ESG endorsement as well? Because that's one concern which, again, has been raised of late by global investors and by global rating agencies.
Well, I think if I ran my portfolio based on what rating agencies tell me, I'll be a bum on the street. Okay, so I couldn't care less what they say. In fact, I believe but if the index is taken out from an index, I'll be happy camper, because I think it'll just allow us to increase position if we need to. So I think a lot of these kind of mechanical box checking exercises, which really don't mean anything. I mean, so I'll tell you an example. I mean, Reliance, we first started buying in a big way in this cycle in 2016, late 2016 and early 2017. They had not rolled out the Geo that point, right? And I think similar concerns and were there for those two. So look, I mean, this is what I'm saying. There has to be some reason for pessimism. I mean, otherwise there wouldn't be any pessimism. But I think I'm actually perfectly happy for these rating agencies to take these stocks out of the index or what have you. I mean, it'd be a good thing, not a bad thing, for us.